It's the most amazing feeling ever.
I don't know, just I think you can't explain it.
Yes. Okay. Daniela.
Hello.
Hi. Alicia.
Hey.
Nice to see you on this beautiful park bench.
Thank you.
I mean, nice to see the beautiful you on this park bench.
Thank you.
Better to compliment a person than a chair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, we go a little ways back. Where was it that we first met?
I think it was at summer camp. We were probably about 12 or 13,
Yeah.
maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, so like it's a summer camp where the teens go away for a weekend or for the week, and there you were, and I was with a whole group of boys in my dorm, and I remember we would kind of notice the other girls, and you were one of the girls that the boys would notice.
Really?
You're pretending you didn't know.
No, I'm not.
You're not? Or you're in denial?
Yeah, I'm in denial.
You knew a little bit?
I did a little bit.
Yeah. And how did that make you feel to know us boys, the dorm boys, were interested in Alicia Fenwick?
I guess I didn't know it so much at the time, but maybe a few years later when a story started emerging. But yeah, I guess it was a compliment. I thought that was pretty cool. I guess it gave me some kind of value and made me think that I was okay, like, you know, that if guys liked me or were attracted to me or wanted to go out with me, then, you know, I had something altogether. I
read a book from John Eldridge, Wild at Heart.
Yeah.
And there's a chapter by Stacey Eldridge at the back called Captivating. And she says in there that every woman desires to have her beauty delighted in.
Yeah.
Is it true?
Yes, it's true. You want to have someone that appreciates you for who you are, sometimes who you look like. You know, who you look...
What you
look like.
And did you find yourself thinking much about the way you looked? Was that important to you at the time?
Yeah, I guess so. Like, through high school and everything, how, I don't know, I think it's a thing that every girl thinks about a lot, is how they look and what's going on, you know, in how they're attracting guys. And so I guess it went through this process of every morning you'd wake up and the first thing that you'd think would be like, okay, what am I going to wear today? Well, this is probably not school so much because I had a uniform, but, you know, besides that.
So you're talking about this morning?
No, not so much anymore, but it definitely was something, yeah, it's still there, of course. There's always going to be that thing, but...
And that's still healthy.
Yeah, I mean, you want to look good, you want to be comfortable, but I think it can become a bit of an obsession and a bit of... something that just becomes too important, where it's like you dress to impress, and if you don't impress, then you feel like you haven't sort of achieved something.
Did you find yourself having ups and downs?
Yeah, for sure. Like, it was the whole thing with like hair and makeup and everything, and just, you know, if you had a day where you'd get a compliment, you know, someone noticed you, especially a guy, then it'd give you that extra boost for the day, that you kind of felt like, oh, I can walk sort of with my head held high a bit more because someone of the opposite sex has found me attractive.
You go through that stage as sort of like a teenager thinking, oh, what am I looking like? Oh, I need this, I need that. You know, where's my makeup at? Kind of thing. And you're just existing for the people around you, and they don't really care if you look ugly. They don't care if you look good or not. Like, you shouldn't be living your life through them. And harnessing the beauty that God has given you and claiming that brings this shine into you, and it brings it out, and no amount of makeup can cover that up, and no amount of makeup can dull the shine that's in you. So, you know, why bother trying when you've already got this gift inside you?
There's a very big difference between taking care of yourself and being consumed by yourself, and taking that extra step into, you know, the effort. But I mean, a lot of girls see it in a different way. But the way media portrays it is that, you know, you got to be a certain someone, you have to present yourself a certain way. It makes you so self-consumed. It causes you to not think about anything else that's important in life, but the way you dress, the way you do your hair, the way your makeup sits. Like, it's everything you're constantly thinking about yourself, and you won't be able to stretch out and help somebody else because you're always thinking, oh, is my hair okay? Like, is all my hair, you know, back or whatever. You're not thinking about, does this person need my advice? Does this person need my care? Does this person, you know, like, it's all about me, and media has placed this. If you want to succeed in life, you have to be this kind of person. You have to be this kind of. You have to have this kind of image.
You're beautiful if you're that size. Do you know what I mean? They don't see inner beauty; they look more at the outer beauty. That's like a main pressure. Well, that's what I think anyway. They're more concerned about your outward appearance, what you look on the outside, how good, how well you present yourself, rather than how good you are on the inside. You know, how nice you are. Like, you see a lot of these celebrities and you read about them, and then you hear how, like, just their characters are just horrible. Yeah. And like, you think, oh, they're the most beautiful people, that'd be really nice, and then you just hear all this awful stuff and you're just like, oh.
I used to really struggle with it because, you know, if you're not like a blonde bimbo, you know, whatever, you know, it kind of feels like I've got to work extra hard to try and be what the world's telling me to be, you know, like I have to, you know, look a certain way or wear a certain thing. And so you put so much time and energy into like going shopping and, you know, all this stuff, and it really just boils down to getting value from what people think of you, and especially guys, like just getting their attention so that you somehow feel worthwhile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. And then it gets tough because then you're always in competition for that affection from the boys or whoever that might be with other rivals, other girls in this case, and that must get kind of tough.
Yeah, because there's always someone, at least, or hundreds, that are like more beautiful than you, you know, or, you know, have something on you. And so it's like you just feel like you never measure up.
Sure, and then we've even got the advent of pornography. And so then you've got a whole nother realm to compete with there.
Yeah.
And
wow, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, I don't know how much to share, but even the whole porn thing was a struggle. Like, when in some of the relationships that I had, you know, like I had boyfriends that, you know, would have porn mags and stuff, and one of them was like, oh, that's my ex-girlfriend in this magazine. And so I was just like, oh my goodness, like how on earth am I meant to measure up with that? Like, she's there in next to nothing. And so then I've just got this thing over me of like, I have to somehow be as good as that in some way, like for him to be, you know, into me. So it's crazy. It's like this massive comparison thing for girls. Yeah.
Do you think that the pressures that were put on you started to kill a sense of individuality within you?
Sure. Yeah. I guess. You try and just adhere to what the world says is beautiful, and I don't know. Like it brings me to the point, or it made me realise after a lot of time, and even just after some reading on this stuff, that like every girl longs for that question to be answered, like, am I beautiful? And because we think, oh, the way that's going to be answered is through a relationship, you know, through somebody telling me or showing me in some way that I'm beautiful. And so we start putting all this effort into external stuff to think that's beauty, when we've just missed the whole mark. Like, where beauty is more, it's an inner thing, it's a character thing.
Wow.
So much more than just a physical external thing.
Yeah, you do desire to look beautiful and look honest and open, and I know those are the characteristics that I desire now, growing up into a woman, that I desire that people see, a radiant beauty, not just the external beauty, but like a radiant beauty. And I suppose that for me comes through claiming the fact that God has got me, and God sort of lifts you out of the horizontal and brings you into the vertical, and you've got like this transient view on life where sort of nothing can touch you, and that's quite beautiful when you've got like this ray of light and you're just deflecting all the black muck that comes at you from all angles of people's judgment and people's opinion of you. And if you can realise that they're just struggling through their walk and they're just as easily trying to find beauty in their own life, you can realise that God is the only one that should have a hold on you and have his opinion matter to you the most.
It was like chasing an elusive dream of being like, oh, you know, the next relationship I'm in is going to be the answer to all my longing, you know, like I've got this longing in my heart to be loved by someone and, you know, get married and whatever. And so I just used to think that, oh, once that happens, like once I've met the one who I was constantly looking for, then I'd be complete, like I'd have everything together. And then I guess it was awesome because I finally came to the realization that even if I did get married and was married to a wonderful guy or whatever, or had a relationship, that I still wouldn't have the deepest longing of my heart met, because I realised that no human is perfect, and no relationship is perfect, and no one can love me perfectly, you know, like in the way that and I guess I found that the only person that can love me fully and completely 100% is God. And I finally went, oh my goodness, like I've been looking everywhere for someone to love me with this love that I'm longing for, but it's been right in front of me the whole time. It's God that can only love me in that way.
Wow.
Yeah.
Maybe the entire world thinks I'm ugly, stupid and pathetic and a waste of time.
Yeah.
But I've got a shield against that now because I know that God cares about me. I know that he thinks I'm beautiful.
Yeah. And I suppose that shield, spending time with God and spending time reveling in the beauty that he wants you to claim. He reveals things to you, and without even knowing it, when I was younger, when I went through that stage of thinking, oh, I'm ugly, there's no point to me, I'm worthless, God was beaming down his light and revealing to me the lies that Satan was telling me, that perhaps it was from my birth that I wasn't claiming the identity in God. Maybe I was still thinking that my identity was in this prostitute, and I think that's what a lot of women and young girls struggle with, the fact that there's maybe things that they don't actually know that they're struggling with and they're battling with, and if only they'd pray to God and he would reveal to them, yeah, your father's been a bad father to you, I'm your father. And then I suppose, yeah, it's a process where God just peels away the muck and just replaces it with his love and his truth. And there's a lot of lies that girls believe, which is, you know, that their boyfriends maybe have, you know, date raped them, and that's all they're worth. But if they just realise, yeah, it's basically God revealing to you the lies that you're believing, and if only you let them go.
The sun is setting, my darling. Please don't say no. Please don't say no. The sun is setting, my darling. Please don't say no. Please don't say no.
You know, the whole concept of God can be really distant and sort of, you know, up there and infinite and all this stuff. And we're told, you know, Jesus reveals God to us and stuff, and so we see this this really lovely guy in Jesus, but can sometimes think that God's this vengeful, like wrathful God, and so we kind of like Jesus, but we're scared of God thing happening. And I guess what I came to realise through just studying the Bible and spending time with others that were studying the Bible as well, was coming to this understanding that Jesus actually came to reveal the heart of God, and to reveal that he is a father, not only to him, Christ himself, but that he longs to be a father to humanity, and not just in a metaphorical sense even, but like literally he wants us to like be able to relate to him as dad, you know, because if we think about it, dads in our lives, all of us play a really significant role, and it's a place where we all long for value and significance to come from, and yet most of our experiences have been negative when it comes to dad. You know, we might have, like I have a lovely dad, I have a great dad, but he's not perfect, and there's been things he's done that's disappointed me in my life, and so I guess God comes in and says, you know, I want to fill that spot, and I want to be the one that gives you value as your father, and for you to relate to me as my child.
I always think when I walk out of the house, my dad gives me this look of what, like, if he, you know, approves of how I look before I exit the house. And I can't say every time, but most of the time my dad will just smile at me, and I get this feeling like, wow, like my dad thinks I'm beautiful. My dad thinks I'm, you know, worthy enough to step out of the house, you know, like I feel pretty when my dad smiles at me. And I just think, God, when the sun shines, I feel like God's smiling down at us, and he's like, you know what, I made you. You're mine. You're beautiful. I just love everything about you, and I care. Like I've given you everything because I love you and I think you're beautiful. And every day, I want to show you more, how much more you're beautiful to me. So.
Is God, knowing God as a Father, separating you from having to gain that value from what other people think of you and those achievements and performances? Is knowing that He loves you and accepts you unconditionally a freeing experience?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm not going to lie and say that I never struggle with that stuff still, because I do, you know. I still have days where, you know, I long for just affirmation from people and whatever. But I guess it's like there's this constant, like, I'm always there for you. I always will think you're beautiful, even on your worst days, you know. Even when you're being a total not nice person, or, you know, you look your worst or whatever. Like, it's just... It is very reassuring and affirming to know that God doesn't care about that stuff. You know, like he says in Samuel somewhere in the Bible that, like, He doesn't look at outward appearance, but He looks upon the heart.
Wow.
And so it's like, you know, it is freeing, because it's like, man, I don't have to be tied down by all these expectations anymore, you know.
Yeah.
I don't need to have the latest fashion or the latest hairdo to know that someone thinks I'm beautiful.
Yeah, wow.
And so, yeah, it is. It's totally liberating.
Okay, so you're saying that God can actually take somebody out
Of the situation, yeah.
Yeah, and so then their value is coming from Him. They feel special because they're connected to Him as either a man or a woman.
Yeah.
And then they're shielded from all the chaos.
That's how Paul and Silas were in the prison, and they were taken out, and that's how they could sing praises in the prison, because they were taken out of the situation. That's got nothing to do with womanhood, but anyway.
No, that's wonderful, because Philippians, I think it's in chapter 4, it says our citizenship is in heaven.
Yeah.
That's our home.
Yeah.
It's citizens, that's our home. That's where we're accepted.
Yeah.
That's where your heart is, that's where my heart is, and that's why we can go through anything and have people say whatever they want about us, and we say, no, well, this is where my home is. That's where my beliefs are in heaven.
It's a beautiful thing to see when you can see people around you that don't focus on all the outward appearance. They just look on the insides. Like these girls here, for instance, are so beautiful, and they're beautiful from the inside out. And because I know their personalities, what they wear and what they do doesn't affect anymore. Like the media tries so hard to make you think that that's a way, but when you look at other people and you realise how beautiful they are, you don't look at you just look straight past it. And when you go through those stages where that's all you're focusing on. But I think it's a part of relationship with God as well. When you become a child of God, and when you fully experience His character and reflect His love to other people, that love then reflects to the insides of others, not just on the outside.
It's the most amazing feeling ever. Like, you know, you don't feel like you have to conform to something. You know, it's so sad because media has this like cliched view of beauty. And you look at it and you're just like, how am I supposed to compare to that? But then you come to God and He's just like, you don't need to do anything. Like, you can give me all your junk or your, you know, all that crap that you carry around with you, and I will make it beautiful. And that's the best thing about God, because He accepts you no matter what you look like, no matter what you've done. And He changes you from the inside out. And it's so beautiful. Wow. And like, oh, God is amazing. He's just amazing.
I guess I came to that understanding that God loves me as His daughter, and puts so much value on me just individually, you know, without having to look a certain way or dress a certain way or be a certain way, just for me. Then like all those other expectations and things I was trying to achieve just totally lost their significance.
Wow, how does it feel, Alicia, to have God say to you, I think you're beautiful?
Amazing.
Yeah.
Like it's really hard to even put into words. To know that longing in my heart for that question to be answered, you know, am I beautiful, is answered by the Creator of the universe. You know, it's mind-blowing.
You can't explain it. Like just the thought that the creator of this entire universe, the person who, like, everything that we look at is is testifying His love and all of the things that He does for us in every situation, and yet He thinks I'm beautiful, and like He created me, and He thinks that I'm just like the most amazing thing in the entire world, and that makes you want to love Him and then love others as well. Like, you look past it on other people because you realise that when God created them just like He created me, and He thinks that they're beautiful, and that's enough of a reason to make me want to love love them as well, because God created them and they have something beautiful inside them, and that will then come out and extends. Yeah. Yeah.
If a girl approached you and said, well, I'm not a beautiful girl, I'm not a beautiful woman, is that a problem, or is that okay for her to think that?
No, it's a problem.
Yeah?
Because what they would be basing that on most of the time, if not all the time, is some kind of external thing, you know, their weight or their, you know, their looks or whatever, you know, when beauty, we've got this messed up idea of what true beauty is. Every person is beautiful, you know, God, they're made uniquely. Like, God formed every child that has been born in their mother's womb, and so there's like this purpose behind them being here. And to think that, like, out of the billions of people that have walked this earth, no one has been the same as me or you know. Like,
wow. Yes, there's something unique, isn't there?
Yep. And that uniqueness is like, when we understand that we've been made in the image of God, and that each one of us reveals God in a different way to every other person, like, that makes each one of us uniquely special and beautiful.
Okay.
It brings a beauty to this world that no one else can.
Do girls need to know that they're irreplaceable?
Yeah, they do.
Why are they irreplaceable?
Because they were formed in the heart of God, in His mind, before they walked this earth, you know, and they're irreplaceable because if they weren't here, that would be one less way that we would be able to see God's love and God's character in that person, you know, in their smile, in their eyes, in their kind heart, whatever it is.
And what about the uniqueness of the fact that we've got so much diversity in shapes, sizes, genetic features, nationalities, to every girl of every different brand and model of humanity. I mean, what has every girl got to offer in her natural difference and uniqueness?
I think every girl can offer herself, in the sense that outward and inward, like external, internal beauty, it's not what the world says it is, and that's where we get screwed up.
Sure,
and
so that's all wrong.
Yeah, that's all wrong. And so what we need to come to realise is that we all have a beauty to reveal, you know, and that beauty, God made every woman as a way to reveal a part of His character and His image that man couldn't, you know, and so, like, it's all part of, like, this part of God's heart that He created women specifically to reveal to the world, you know, His character. And so I guess the diversity is just saying, like, there is so much diversity in the character of God and in His heart and in His personality, and it's shown forth through every single individual.
So shine and in that uniqueness, whatever that is, let it shine, don't hide it. Stop trying to hide it. There's no one else that looks like you in all the world. You're an endangered species. You're too precious to let that hide, and so why not just let it go? And I feel like saying to any girl that would say, I'm not a beautiful person, I'm not a beautiful woman, I'm not a pretty girl. Who told you that? Who told you?
The enemy.
It's
just the enemy, and it's a lie, because he knows that if we believe that about ourselves, that is going to keep us from realising the beauty that God has for us and in us, you know. It'll keep us away, it'll keep us distracted with all the world's ways of trying to be beautiful.
It's false. It can leave you feeling ugly inside. Is that true?
Definitely.
Did the most glamorous girl, and the girls are jealous, the guys, their jaws drop. Is it possible that she still feels ugly inside?
Absolutely.
Probable?
Yeah, definitely.
It's sad because it's the shell. The heart is craving to feel inner beauty and to experience inner beauty. Yeah, but anyway, thank you, Alicia. You've shared so many wonderful things, and it's been a good day. You're a sweetie. You're a treasure.